All right, everyone, we have made it. We are less than a week away from the 5th episode of Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. It'll be airing this coming Sunday at 8 p.m. on ID. For those of you who don't know, Quiet on Set was the explosive docuseries that revealed the utter depravity that was going on behind the scenes of popular Nickelodeon television shows with showrunner Dan Schneider. This was the docuseries in which Drake Bell also revealed that he was the unnamed minor in a SA case that was put against Brian Peck, for which he only served a year of jail time. So you can see how corrupt this system has gotten. But anyway, if you want more on what has happened thus far in the first 4 episodes, I'll leave a link to my videos covering that down below. But today we have EW, Entertainment Weekly, showing us our first exclusive look at what we can expect to see. But before we get into all that, welcome to Christosophy, the show where we talk about relevant topics, yes, but we shine light into the deepest and the darkest of places and spaces. Folks, this episode will be no different. Just for a little bit of background, a little bit of context for you guys, I myself was a Nickelodeon child actor, voiceover actor, playing the role of Tyrone on the Emmy Award-winning TV series, The Backyardigans. And so as all this kind of comes out, I'm comparing and contrasting it with my own experience with Nickelodeon, which I've said it in multiple videos, was a great one. I never had any bad thing happen to me at all, or to anybody that I knew during my time with Nickelodeon. So it's YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss more videos just like this one. And let's dive into it. Entertainment Weekly with the exclusive. It says the upcoming installment will feature new interviews with Drake Bell. Now, there has been a time gap between the first 4 episodes and this episode, so hopefully this interview with Drake Bell is one that's happened since those 4 episodes. So we can not only see where he's at now, but kind of his reaction to other people's reactions. A lot of stars and powerful people have come out saying things, condemning the actions of people like Dan Schneider and Brian Peck. Also, there have been celebrities like Kenan Thompson who are kind of saying things without really saying things. I'm not taking shots. I'm just trying to call it as I see it and be as honest as I can. So there's been a whole bunch of mixed reactions. And so hopefully this interview with new footage from Drake Bell will go into some of that. But in addition to that, we'll have 4 total people sitting down to have a conversation. I'll tell you what that conversation is going to be about, but let's find out who's going to be there. So Brian Christopher Hearn will be there. This is the kid who got covered in peanut butter, okay, and had the dogs licking him. He and his mom, Tracy Brown, will both be there. And also a new cast member from all that, Shane Lyons, will be sitting down. The article here does not go into what he's going to be doing in this interview, whether he's giving new information, things that we don't know or were not revealed in the first 4 episodes, or whether he's just going to be reacting. In terms of the host or the leader of the discussion, it's going to be Soledad O'Brien. Okay, so she's been a journalist for a long time. She'll be leading the discussion. I think that might be a good fit. So what is the discussion going to be about? It's basically going to cover ways to move forward from what has been revealed. And I have to commend that. Okay. Does it seem like a stretch because they're not revealing new information? At first I was like, yeah, they're just trying to milk this for more coverage and press. But then I realized the first step to making change is sitting down and having a conversation. But this has to happen in more places than just on TV. It has to happen in boardrooms. It has to happen in homes, people's homes, about what is appropriate for kids' TV. Parents have to sit down with their kids and talk about these things so that we can better protect not just, of course, the kids who are acting and involved in these shows, but the generations, the millions of young people and kids who have watched this stuff and had their minds altered by adult jokes that were subliminally shown to them. I do think that it's a good thing that they're going to sit down and talk about some ways to potentially fix this. We won't know what those are, though, until we finally see the episode, as they don't go into it here in this article. There's some quotes here. It says, I feel very honored to have been given the opportunity to share my story. This is Brian Christopher Hearn. It's definitely hard as a black man in Hollywood, let alone a black child. Hearn posted on social media after the first episodes came out. Okay, so this is not taken from the actual episode. It's Just something that he said after the first 4 episodes came out. There's no due date to healing, he says. If you're wondering why now, it's because it's time for justice. It's time for all this stuff to be revealed and released for so many of us. I can't fault him there. There's certainly a time of shock and processing that happens when traumatic events like this happen. And sometimes they're like, okay, well, why didn't you just say it when it happened? And there's validity to that. I think that when you're an adult, like if you're an adult on set, you very clearly have a choice. You either speak out about the inappropriate treatment you're receiving, or you go to the side of, well, let me get my next role. Let me get my next paycheck. And in that moment, adults can make that decision. I think the distinction here, though, is that the trauma that these actors experienced happened when they were kids, when they were children. So they didn't necessarily understand the gravity and the weight of what was happening to them when it was happening to them. And it would take years of maturing and life experience to be able to be like, why am I messed up like this? Wow, it was this that happened. I'm connecting that's when I started thinking like that. That's when I started doing this or doing that or being involved with these things. Okay, so I do think that we have to give a little bit more processing time for kids and child actors who went through these kind of things. So I agree with him there. There's no due date on recovery or healing in that case. But to continue this momentum, now that everything's out in the open and people are talking about these things with Nickelodeon in particular, because let's not ignore the elephant in the room, Disney, their time is coming too. I'm sure there were things that happened. Again, I'm not alleging that anything happened, but a lot of these people run in the same circles, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised. But now that this conversation has been opened up, I hope that in this upcoming episode, they not only discuss it amongst themselves, but they open up the discussion to the broader entertainment community, the Hollywood community, because I believe that this is the biggest thing to happen since Weinstein in terms of abuse that has been revealed on a broad scale across the entertainment industry. And so much like with the Weinstein stuff, we have to make changes because of it. We can't just let it die down or simmer down, because that's exactly what some of these people are hoping will happen. Some of the high ups, some of the big companies, maybe even Nickelodeon, they want these stories to die down because it's bad press. It's reputation damaging press. And for companies like Disney, companies like Nickelodeon, they need to have a good reputation in the eyes of parents. Because how much you want to bet a lot more parents were sitting down with their kids and just watching a little longer when they turned on the kids' favorite TV show, looking for some of those adult jokes or maybe things that would go over the kids' heads. So yeah, of course, big kids entertainment companies like Nick and Disney want to get away from these kind of stories as soon as possible. And that's fine. Disney and Nick have done amazing in terms of producing kid-friendly content. I myself, even just from being in the Backyardigans, was thankfully part of a show that did a lot for positively affecting youth with music and culture and dance and all those kinds of things. So I don't think they deserve to be destroyed, but while we're here, let's make sure that we make changes so that this kind of mess does not happen again. But those are my thoughts. Obviously, we'll have to wait a few days until the episode comes out. Again, that's going to be April 7th. That's a Sunday night at 8 p.m. I'll probably be going live right after it premieres, and then we'll do a full video probably Monday or late Monday. So if you want to be here for that, you got to click the subscribe button and the bell if you want to see those videos when they do come out. Also, like the video. It lets the algorithm know people are enjoying this content. People are supporting this content, more importantly, because some of the views that I express here are not going to be popular. It's not something that's going to make the YouTube trending page, you know? So if you want to support the channel, that's the best way to do it. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. Fight evil.